profound and intimate relationship with food. Their way of eating and cooking is not just about sustenance, it's an art, a celebration, and a connection to the land that nourishes them. For the Hadzabe, food is not only vital for survival, it's an integral part of their culture and survival strategies, often enjoyed in the simplest, yet most rewarding ways. Watching them eat and prepare food is a beautiful reflection of their deep respect for nature and their unique way of life. The Hadzabe's meals are based on what they can find in their immediate environment: wild fruits, tubers, honey, roots, and, most importantly, the meat from the animals they hunt. These foods are harvested and hunted with patience, skill, and a deep understanding of the land. Their knowledge of the wilderness enables them to forage for nutrient-rich plants and gather food from the earth in ways that are completely sustainable. This means that what they eat and how they prepare it is entirely driven by the rhythms of nature, the seasons, and the availability of food. When it comes to eating, the Hadzabe don't just consume food, they celebrate it. In a world of fast food and convenience, their meals are a reminder of the purity and simplicity of food in its natural form. A typical meal might consist of roasted wild meat, gathered honey, and fruits such as berries or melons, enjoyed directly in the wild with no need for fancy utensils. The experience of eating is communal. After a successful hunt, everyone in the tribe, men, women, and children, gathers together to share what's been caught, and there's often an air of joy and camaraderie that fills the space. The tribe eats with their hands, savoring every bite, as there are no distractions from modern technology or prepackaged foods. Every meal is a moment to connect with each other, with nature, and with the animals that gave their lives for the tribe's survival. The way the Hadzabe cook, or rather prepare their food, is incredibly simple yet effective. For instance, when roasting meat, they often build a small fire in the open, and the meat is cooked over the flames until perfectly tender. The technique is all about preserving the natural flavors of the food, rather than masking them with complex seasonings. This ancient method of cooking, honed over generations, is not only a way to prepare food but also an important part of the tribe's survival strategy. They know how to maximize the taste and nutrients from their food by using minimal resources, proving that sometimes, less is more. Honey is another delicacy the Hadzabe truly savor. Their skill in finding and harvesting wild honey is a perfect example of their remarkable relationship with nature. They use tools like smoke to calm the bees. Allowing them to access the honeycombs without being stung. The joy of tasting fresh honey, directly from the hive, is something the Hadzabe look forward to and is often shared among the entire tribe. This connection to food is far more than sustenance, it is an experience that involves reverence for the land and its creatures. For the Hadzabe, food is not just about eating to fill the stomach. It's about honoring the resources they have, appreciating every part of the animal or plant, and ensuring nothing goes to waste. After hunting an animal, every part is used: skin, bones, and meat. Nothing is discarded. The bones might be turned into tools, the skin into clothing, and the meat provides nourishment for the tribe. This resourcefulness is a reflection of their deep respect for nature and the balance they maintain with it. The way the Hadzabe eat also underscores a fundamental cultural value: the importance of community and sharing. The tribe eats together, sitting in a circle, and the food is passed around freely. This communal aspect of dining fosters a strong sense of unity and belonging. The act of sharing food strengthens bonds and reinforces the tribe's collective identity. It's not uncommon for the Hadzabe to share their food with visiting tribes or strangers, exemplifying their deep sense of hospitality and generosity. There's also a quiet joy that radiates from the Hadzabe as they eat. It's not just the food that brings happiness, it's the way they live, the freedom they experience in the wild, and the deep connection to the earth that brings fulfillment. Every meal is a moment of reflection on the journey of survival and the balance of life and nature. Their laughter, stories, and simple enjoyment of the food reflect a profound sense of contentment and appreciation for the world they inhabit. Watching the Hadzabe eat is an experience that will make you appreciate your own food in a new way. There's something incredibly humbling about seeing a tribe so deeply attuned to their environment, where every meal is an event, and food is treated with the utmost respect. They don't rush through meals, they savor them, and every bite is a reminder of the simplicity, beauty, and joy of nourishing the body with what nature provides. In a world where convenience often trumps quality, the Hadzabe's way of eating and cooking offers a beautiful lesson in slowing down, appreciating the food you have, and finding joy in the most fundamental acts of survival. If you ever have the opportunity to witness or share a meal with the Hadzabe, it will undoubtedly be an unforgettable experience, reminding you that the true joy of food lies in its simplicity and the connections it fosters.
Aku nak buat apa sama dia mana apa.
Jangan.
Anak kuliah bisa.
Cukup ika.
Kita nunggu dah dok. Nak aku tahu nak apa tahu. Tengok aku Nak aku tahu nak dah punah. Apa nak anak fire tadi kat dok tengok. Kita ono isa amnyonge ko. Ako ana mnyonge ba.
Sasa tafe. Tutu tata ida ko dada.
Sasa ono sa tama ko be.
Tumika mafili kwa sasa. Ani ka tu ni bicara ma show bi apa ya aja.
Aku hai ono ne ati. Abi pit ada.
Kameta. Pete ne pita kwa kriye me asona ba.
Au gua ku na asona.
Kwa kita.
Kacu ada. Saya cuma ku beta sama.
Teko na gocha mana amena. Aqua ataki.
Ngambia ba chima ini.
Aku na kita tangga bebe na ina kabuta.
Betul tak nak pergi sebab. Aku ada mesti dia nak tu.
Aku siap itu.
Tembok tu aku cuci.
Aku siap wati.
Cuci si akan nama. Kai bai.
Lami. Duduk kan?
Saya duduk dalam itu kok.
Henga unaambiwa wewe kama aneko na kwa vitabu. Henga unabawa haisaidii.
Bena akai iti ndio maana kama bibi wanapenda nwaye sana ndio maana kwanza kwa beku zingiza hii abatukumeka
Sasa unataka kwenda Kengao utabawa una
Makwipi aya tukumeami aya cheche nako aya.
Unibi ama si unibi akamtaa.
Aku enak
Unibi ama na kina aka kekeke.
Jana kok
Kiso ya mo. Sa unibi.
Aku bate.
Lama tahu.
Aku tak no mano.
na titi kwa mo.
Ako shati.
Ya
Let's air amo.
Ufa mama.
Koi. Umago. Dito bami. Ikamera hamana kwa tet kegendo lo ebunkwabe.
Ina kaka kechena hamana unibi kema
Wala ndako kafe. Akabe ukuchami. Ukwa kanata uno ukuwa atume kwa
Mpelekee baba.
Hiyo na kisu akati.
Yo. Tapi gua gonyoko. Ya.
Nikikaa kwa haya tukufu Tanzania tukongilo lilo na azisa baiko.
Ai.
Ya bijao. Wao kwa usta koti koko.
Ale nyangine chini yako. Ndani. Tona.
Baba mko bien. Mko bien. Yete. Yo yuko pamoja. Na hii na gashi na uchafu. Tukitaja kazi to atazosia nyumba.
Bobo. Ongilo. Ngane.
Ambamile ile toko shoebe. Ne toko shoebe ma.
Bokonea.
Tuko yuko ya sasa.
Kite gweke ya tatoga. Oh.
When you think your water isn't clean enough, watching this will make you say thanks. Droplet folded hands. We all have moments when we wonder about the quality of the water we drink. Is it truly clean enough? Is it pure enough? Is it safe enough? Sometimes the taste or clarity of our water might make us question its cleanliness, and we may even take for granted the luxury of having water that is readily available at the turn of a tap. But when we stop and look at the bigger picture, especially in the wild, we realize how much we truly have, and how fortunate we are. Picture yourself deep in the heart of nature, surrounded by vast landscapes, wild rivers, and dense forests. As you observe the wildlife around you, you notice something truly eye-opening. The animals, big and small, have no choice but to drink from the natural sources around them. There's no filtration system, no purification processes to ensure the water is safe for consumption. These creatures, whether it's a lion taking a drink from a muddy waterhole, a bird sipping from a rainwater puddle, or a herd of elephants gathering around a dwindling river, must rely on what nature gives them. The harsh truth is, in the wild, water is not always clean. It can be murky, contaminated with bacteria, or even polluted from surrounding environments. Yet, these animals thrive, adapt, and survive in conditions that we, as humans, would find difficult to endure. Nature's water sources are unpredictable, and survival often depends on how well these creatures can cope with what's available. Sometimes, this means taking chances with water that may not be safe by our standards. Now, think about the water that flows out of your tap. It's easy to forget how much effort goes into making sure that the water we drink is safe, clean, and drinkable. In many parts of the world, people are still living without access to reliable, clean water. In comparison, we turn on the faucet and expect the water to be clear, fresh, and free of harmful pathogens, without a second thought. For many of us, the idea of drinking from a contaminated water source seems almost unimaginable. But out in the wild, animals don't have the luxury of modern water systems. They must trust that the water they drink will sustain them, even if it's uncertain or dangerous. Watching wildlife navigate their environments, often struggling to find a clean water source or having to rely on polluted, stagnant water, makes us realize just how fortunate we are to have clean, filtered water available at the push of a button. It's a privilege that many people in the world still dream of. While we may get frustrated with the taste of our tap water or feel inconvenienced by a minor issue, these animals live with the constant uncertainty of whether the water they drink will keep them healthy or lead to sickness. Tea. This comparison is a powerful reminder of the things we often take for granted. We don't have to worry about the safety of our drinking water. We don't have to trek long distances in search of clean sources, nor do we need to drink from water that is cloudy or contaminated. When we reflect on the resilience of wildlife and the struggles they face in finding water, we can't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude for the resources we have access to. The simple comfort of turning on a tap and knowing clean water will flow out is a luxury that should never be overlooked. So, the next time you question the quality of your water, or get frustrated over a minor inconvenience, take a moment to pause and reflect on the lives of the animals that survive in the wild. Their resilience in the face of adversity, their ability to adapt to whatever nature gives them, is a humbling reminder of how blessed we are. And as we watch their struggles, we realize that our access to clean, safe drinking water is something we should cherish every day. Thanks to nature for reminding us that sometimes, the simple things are the most precious. And thank you to the Hadzabe and other bush tribes who live close to the land and have a profound understanding of nature's resources. Their way of life teaches us the value of what we often take for granted. So, the next time you fill your glass, take a moment to say thank you to the natural world for the clean, safe water we sometimes overlook. The Lost Lion's Journey, a day of survival, search, and a heartwarming reunion. Today was an incredible and emotional experience deep in the African wilderness. We followed a majestic male lion who had lost his pride, his lionesses and cubs. It was a rare and extraordinary event to witness a lion separated from his family, a sight both heartbreaking and fascinating. From dawn until dusk, we tracked his journey, observing his relentless search, his powerful instincts, and his emotional reunion. The lone lion, a king without his kingdom. At sunrise, as the golden light stretched across the savanna, we spotted him, a lone male lion, walking steadily through the tall grass. His presence was commanding, but something was off. Unlike the confident stride of a lion ruling over his territory, this one looked uneasy, sniffing the air and constantly looking around. He was searching for something, or someone. Lions are social creatures, and a male being alone for too long is unusual. His pride, his lionesses and cubs, were nowhere in sight. Had they been separated while hunting? Had another male challenged him? The uncertainty added to the intensity of the moment. The search begins, instincts and survival. His search was methodical. Every few steps, he stopped, raised his massive head, and let out a deep, thunderous roar that echoed across the open plains. He was calling out to his family, hoping for a response. But there was silence. Despite the disappointment, he pressed on, following scent trails left behind by his pride. The way he moved, ears alert, nose to the wind, eyes scanning every direction, showed his deep connection to the land. This was nature's raw beauty at its finest. Encounters along the way. As we followed him, we witnessed the breathtaking variety of wildlife that shared this vast wilderness. A herd of elephants passed nearby, their enormous frames moving gracefully. The lion barely acknowledged them, his mind was on one thing only. Zebras and wildebeests grazed in the distance, cautious but unthreatened by the lone lion. Had he been with his pride, they would have been on high alert. A group of hyenas lurked in the background, watching him closely. Lions and hyenas are fierce rivals, and without his pride, he was vulnerable. But even alone, his powerful presence kept them at bay. Every encounter reminded us of the delicate balance of life in the wild, where every animal plays its role in a grand and untamed ecosystem. A lion's determination, never giving up. Hours passed, and the lion showed no signs of slowing down. He moved with relentless determination, resting only briefly under the shade of an acacia tree before continuing his search. At one point, he found an area where his pride had recently been. The ground was covered in their scent, and his posture changed. He knew he was close. He let out another deep, resonating roar. And then, the moment of reunion. A distant roar echoed back. His ears perked, his body stiffened, and then he sprinted forward, following the sound. His pride had hurt him. We watched in awe as he approached a small clearing where his lionesses and cubs were waiting. The moment they saw him, the reunion was nothing short of magical. The lionesses greeted him with soft head rubs and affectionate nuzzles, confirming his place as their protector. The cubs, full of energy, pounced on him, playfully biting his mane and rolling around his massive paws. His tense body finally relaxed, and he let out a deep sigh. He was home. It was a heartwarming moment that reminded us of the deep bonds animals share. The pride was complete once again. A lesson from the wild. This journey of the lost lion searching for his family was more than just a wildlife sighting. It was a story of perseverance, love, and survival. Nature is often portrayed as fierce and ruthless, but moments like this show its softer, more emotional side. Lions, like humans, have families, connections, and a need to belong. Would you join the adventure? If you've ever wanted to witness the magic of the wild up close, experiences like this remind us why the African wilderness is one of the most awe-inspiring places on Earth. The Lost Lion's Journey, a day of survival, search, and a heartwarming reunion with incredible wildlife encounters. Today was one of the most unforgettable experiences in the wild. We embarked on an incredible journey, following a majestic male lion who had lost his family, his lionesses and cubs. The raw emotion of watching him search for his pride was something truly special, but what made the day even more extraordinary was the amazing wildlife encounters we had along the way. This was not just a story of a lion's determination and love for his family, it became an adventure through the African wilderness, where nature itself came alive, surrounding us with its magic. The Lost King, a lion's search for his family. At dawn, the sun painted the sky in breathtaking shades of orange and gold as we spotted him, a lone male lion, walking steadily across the golden grasslands. His presence was powerful, but something was missing. A lion is rarely alone for long, and we quickly realized he had been separated from his pride. Every few steps, he stopped, sniffed the air, and let out a deep, echoing roar that sent chills through the air. It was a call to his family, a desperate attempt to reconnect with them. But silence followed. Instead of giving up, he pressed on, following the trails left behind by his lionesses and cubs. We knew we had to follow him, witnessing a real-life survival story unfold before our eyes. Encounters with nature's most amazing creatures. As we tracked the lion through the vast African savanna, something truly magical happened. Other animals began to appear, as if they too were part of this incredible journey. It was as if nature itself was guiding us, showing us the breathtaking beauty of the wild. A majestic elephant herd. As we moved deeper into the wilderness, we heard deep rumbles in the distance. Suddenly, a herd of elephants emerged from the trees, moving with a slow, graceful power. The lion, despite being a fearsome predator, showed no interest in them, he was focused only on finding his family. The elephants, however, took notice of him. The matriarch, a massive female with long, curved tusks, lifted her trunk and flapped her ears, warning the lion to keep his distance. The lion simply walked past them, his presence acknowledged but not challenged. A dance of zebras and wildebeests. As we continued, we found ourselves surrounded by zebras and wildebeests, grazing peacefully under the morning sun. These animals, who would normally be wary of a lion, seemed almost calm in his presence. Perhaps they sensed he wasn't hunting, that today his mission was different. The sight of zebras with their black and white stripes moving in perfect harmony, mixed with the powerful bodies of wildebeests, was something out of a dream. The great migration in motion, a testament to nature's rhythm and balance. The silent watchers, a group of curious giraffes. Further ahead, a tower of giraffes stood tall, their long necks stretched high as they watched the scene unfold. Giraffes are naturally curious creatures, and they seemed fascinated by the lone lion walking through their territory. They kept their distance but never took their eyes off him, their elegant frames silhouetted against the bright sky. It was a reminder of how every animal in the wild is connected, watching, learning, and surviving together. The lion's determination, a test of strength and willpower. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the lion grew weary. He stopped to drink from a small watering hole, his massive paws sinking into the soft mud. His golden mane shimmered in the sunlight, a true king of the jungle, yet at this moment, he was just a father searching for his loved ones. Then, he lifted his head suddenly, he had picked up a scent. His entire posture changed. His muscles tensed, his eyes focused, and in an instant, he was moving faster. The moment was near. The reunion, a moment of pure emotion. Then, as if answering his prayers, a distant roar echoed back. He stopped in his tracks, his ears perked up, his breathing heavy with excitement. He roared again, and this time, several roars responded. With renewed energy, he sprinted toward the sound. We followed, our hearts racing. And then we saw them, his pride was waiting for him in a shaded clearing. The lionesses ran to greet him, rubbing their heads against his in a sign of love and respect. The cubs, full of energy, leaped onto him, playfully swatting his face and rolling at his feet. The once-lost lion was now home, back where he belonged. The reunion was nothing short of magical. It was a powerful reminder that even in the wild, love, family, and connection are just as important as strength and survival. A lesson from nature, a day to remember. This journey was more than just an incredible wildlife experience. It was a lesson about perseverance, determination, and the unbreakable bond of family. Along the way, we witnessed the beauty of the natural world, encountering some of Africa's most iconic animals, each playing a role in this vast and untamed landscape. From the mighty elephants to the elegant giraffes, the rhythmic herds of zebras and wildebeests, and finally, the triumphant return of the lion to his family, it was a day we would never forget. Nature has a way of reminding us of the true essence of life, that no matter how lost we feel, no matter how difficult the journey, if we keep going, we will always find our way home. Would you join the adventure next time?
This one on the right's got hardly any tail.
Yeah,
left.
hardly any tail.
I reckon it's oldie.
I think he's been batted around quite a bit. I could probably take him in.
Have you seen the one behind it, like rubbing its bum?
Yeah, in the dirt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right, good scratch.
That feels so good.
Trying to get the bird poop off.
Oh, and he's just a duck.
So Henry, the owner of TDA, got stood on by an elephant, trampled on by an elephant.
What?
In India.
On his first.
That's why there are sweeps now.
What the heck? What?
Seriously? The owner of TDA, he was cycling and he got trampled by an elephant.
It's got a big
And
scar
he,
up his
but
arm.
what does that have to do with sweeps? He was the last
He was the
one.
last rider,
And he was left there.
and no one knew.
Oh my God.
Couldn't like. It trod on his head. didn't it?
Yeah, on his head.
It trod on his head.
He
yeah.
heard the helmet crack.
And it like tusked his arm. He's got a big scar where he had surgery
And it
on his
didn't.
arm.
He survived
He survived.
having.
He's got the helmet still.
Let's just say that's whatever brand of helmet
He-
that
he
is.
wrote-
That's the one I want.
He wrote to the helmet and tried to get a sponsorship, and they didn't believe it. They didn't believe it. Yeah, they didn't
Suspect
buy it.
they didn't.
Probably.
Kit or sponsorship.
So what happened? He was biking along. The elephant knocked him off,
on a TDA tour.
and the elephant knocked him off the bike.
Came out of the bush in India, yeah, and dragged him into the bush, and then stood on his head, like you know that thing where they're like standing over you,
Yeah, yeah.
and then started like squeezing down on his head.
And he
But
managed to
did you-
wiggle away or something.
Yeah, but with serious injuries.
I bet.
What are you doing with those sticks?
So he couldn't get back on his own, I assume.
Oh no,
Where was
he was
that?
it was in India, maybe.